Over 100 million years ago, Antarctica wasn't the frozen wasteland that we know today. No, this was a land of warmth and life. Towering trees and thick ferns grew here. Rivers flowed freely. And according to fossil evidence, this was a land of marsupials, those furry little creatures that are found only in Australia today. And get this, dinosaurs roamed the land here. Yes, even the mighty T-Rex might have walked near the South Pole. See, Antarctica was once part of a supercontinent called Gondwana. This ancient landmass formed around 550 million years ago and eventually broke apart to form the continents of Africa, South America, and Australia. So the plants and animals of Antarctica would have been similar to those found in these other places. But what kind of life forms could have survived here? Well, we know that Antarctica wasn't always covered in ice, because there were ancient river systems that flowed through it. There were also vast mountain ranges, some of which rose over 3,000 meters, that's almost 10,000 feet into the air. These mountains acted as a barrier to the cold ocean winds, creating pockets of warm climate where plants and animals could thrive. So it's not hard to imagine that the ancestors of today's Australian marsupials could have found a cozy home here. These ancestors were small proto-wombats, like little pig-footed wombats with big brains and longer snouts than their modern descendants. They likely used their strong claws to dig burrows and their keen sense of smell to find food. And then there are the dinosaurs. The T-Rex might have been the king of the dinosaurs, but it was just one of many species that lived during the late Cretaceous period. Other famous dinosaurs like the Triceratops and the Ankylosaurus were also present, along with a variety of smaller species. These dinosaurs were well adapted to their environment. Some were covered in feathers to keep them warm. Others had thick scales to protect them from the harsh sun. Still, others had long necks and tails to help them balance as they walked. Of course, not all of Antarctica's ancient inhabitants were dinosaurs. There were also marine reptiles like ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs. These creatures were perfectly suited for life in the water. Ichthyosaurs had streamlined bodies and powerful tails, while plesiosaurs had huge forelimbs that they used to steer themselves through the water. Today, all of these species are extinct. The dinosaurs died out 66 million years ago when a giant asteroid slammed into the Earth. But their fossils have been found all over Antarctica, including the bones of ankylosaurs, hadrosaurs, sauropods, and mosasaurs from the shores of the Southern Ocean to the depths of the McMurdo Dry valleys. These fossils are a reminder of a time when Antarctica was a very different place, a place where dinosaurs roamed and warm-blooded animals thrived. But something dramatic happened about 34 million years ago. The warmth began to fade, and Antarctica started its transition into the icy desolation we know today. The Antarctic circumpolar current formed, cutting the continent off from warmer waters, and as a result, CO2 levels plummeted. As you can see, the ice grew, slowly at first, then with overwhelming force. Secrets locked away, hidden beneath layers of ice where they've remained in darkness ever since. So what happened? Why did this once vibrant land become such an icy wasteland? Well, about 34 million years ago, the Atlantic Ocean began to circulate around Antarctica. This current, known as the Antarctic circumpolar current, cut the continent off from the warmer waters of the north. And without the insulating effect of warm water, the surface waters of the Southern Ocean started to cool. As the temperatures dropped, the CO2 in the atmosphere began to fall as well. You see, when the ocean cools, it's less able to absorb CO2 from the atmosphere. Instead, the gas began to dissolve in the falling rain, which in turn caused even more cooling. It was a vicious cycle that led to an ice age. At first, only a small part of Antarctica was covered in ice, just enough to reflect some of the sun's rays back into space. Over time, though, the ice grew thicker and the reflection increased, leading to even more cooling. Eventually, the entire continent was covered in ice, creating a huge, thick sheet that we still have today. And all this happened pretty quickly in geologic time. All the secrets that Antarctica once held close, the bones of dinosaurs and ancient mammals, the fossils of early birds, they're all locked away beneath the ice where they've remained in darkness ever since. It's hard to say exactly what caused this drastic climate change. Some scientists think it may have been a natural fluctuation in Earth's orbit around the sun. Others blame it on the breakup of the supercontinent Gondwana. Whatever the cause, the effect was the same. Antarctica became the frozen desert we know today, home to some of the most extreme weather on Earth. But maybe one day we'll be able to unlock its secrets and learn more about the amazing animals and plants that once called it home. What would you find if you dug a hole through the ice all the way to the center of the Earth? Would you find diamonds bigger than grizzly bears? Maybe molten lava? How about a secret alien base? But beneath the ice, the mysteries don't end. Hidden beneath miles of frozen ground lie entire mountain ranges like the Gamburtsev Mountains. A mountain range so vast, it spans almost the entire continent of Antarctica, yet completely buried, waiting to be discovered. Scientists believe that these mountains were formed around 900 million years ago, but no one has ever set eyes on them. That's because they're covered by a layer of ice more than 2 miles thick. But the Gamburtsev Mountains aren't the only thing hidden beneath the Antarctic ice. There's also Lake Vostok, a liquid lake sealed for millions of years beneath the ice. It's covered by more than 2 miles of solid ice, yet somehow it remains a liquid. It's full of fresh water, and scientists believe that it may hold the key to microbial life that has evolved without sunlight and is untouched by time. In other words, it could be a microbial wonderland. But that's not all. Beneath this underground lake, there may be an entire ecosystem thriving in total darkness. Imagine a world where sunlight never reaches, where strange and wonderful creatures have evolved in total blackness. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it could be reality. And here's the crazy part. We've never actually explored Lake Vostok. The deepest hole humans have ever dug in Antarctica is just a fraction of the distance to the lake. The closest we've gotten is about 3,700 feet, just a tiny sliver of the distance to the lake's surface, which is covered by more than 2 miles of ice. It's possible that Lake Vostok could contain undiscovered species of bacteria, fungi, algae, and other microorganisms that have adapted to the extreme conditions of the deep subglacial environment. These organisms could provide insights into the limits of life on Earth and the potential for life on other planets. And what if there's more? What if beneath the surface lie ancient ruins, alien technology, or evidence of long-lost civilizations? Crazy theories, right? But until we explore, we just don't know. Now let's take a step back. Antarctica isn't just unique because of its history. It's unique because of its position on Earth. Did you know that gravity is stronger at the poles? That's right. The Earth's shape creates a powerful pull at the South Pole, making space travel much more difficult. In fact, the Earth's spin provides a natural boost to rockets launched from the equator. There's no air resistance, so it's easier to get to space. But at the South Pole, that boost doesn't exist. So if you were hiding something valuable or trying to protect something important, wouldn't Antarctica be the perfect place? A natural vault where no one could reach it? So far, we've explored the amazing wildlife, learned about climate change, and even discovered a secret military base. But now it's time to take things to the next level. Literally. We're going underground. The idea of an underground base in Antarctica might seem like a far-fetched conspiracy theory, but it's actually not as crazy as you think. With the discovery of the ancient meteorite, we know that there's something special about this continent. Could there be more than meets the eye? The thought of valuable resources hidden beneath the ice is intriguing, but it raises another. Who would be crazy enough to try and steal them? Well, it turns out that there's already been an attempt to illegally mine in Antarctica. In 2016, a group of scientists found evidence of an abandoned drilling site from the 1970s. The drilling had been done by a private company under the guise of a scientific expedition. But what they were really after was the supposed riches beneath the ice. They never found anything valuable, and their operation was shut down. But it raises the question, what if they had succeeded? What if someone did find something valuable in Antarctica? Would the world even care? It's easy to assume that everyone would be outraged, but it's not that simple. The Antarctic Treaty System, which governs the continent, doesn't allow for mining. But if something was found that everyone wanted, would they really stop at nothing to get it? And if so, why haven't they found it yet? It seems like the perfect place to hide something. No one can get to it. Well, believe it or not, it's not as safe as you might think. There are plenty of people who have tried to sneak into Antarctica, both legally and illegally. In fact, there's even a black market for Antarctic tours, which can cost anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000. So if someone was determined to get to Antarctica and find whatever it is they're looking for, they probably could. The question is, what would they find? Antarctica is just the beginning. Across the world, ancient civilizations built monumental structures in the best places to launch to the stars. But why? What were they trying to achieve? In part 2, we'll head north to the pyramids, the temples, and the secrets of Earth's forgotten architects. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There's a whole universe of hidden stories and out-of-the-box mysteries waiting for you right here. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. See you soon.